Casey's Corner, introducing you to small businesses in the East Valley. Brought to you by Prosperity North Advisors, a Kendall insurance agency, protecting your prosperity.
Hello everyone, Casey Kendall, Prosperity North Advisors, a Kendall insurance agency, protecting your prosperity. Joining me today, Nick Fuller, Fuller Financial.
Absolutely.
Located here in Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Nick, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
So, Nick, you are a financial advisor.
Correct.
I bet your life's pretty crazy right now.
Absolutely. More than crazy, right.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started being a financial advisor, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So I started at a big firm here locally. I was an intern there. I loved it. I thought it was great. Had some family members that came across a situation that was really complex, and they didn't know really where to turn, who to trust, or where to go to get the help that they needed.
Sure.
And so at that time, instead of taking a job inside the office, I decided that I wanted to pursue being an advisor myself. And so, there I was.
Very cool.
Yep.
So, Nick, you are working with your clients. I imagine you probably run across, and this is just me outside looking, and you probably run across three different types of people.
Sure.
You've got the DIY investor, the guy who's opened an account and he's going to beat the system and he's going to slam stocks and become a millionaire.
Yep.
And day trade.
Absolutely.
You've got the person who is frustrated with their current situation, either because of inflation, market uncertainty, maybe lack of communication from their current advisor.
Could be.
And then lastly, someone who's might have a 401k who hasn't done anything with it. They might even have a 401k from a different job that they've left years ago. Talk to us about how you work with those types of individuals.
Yeah, all of those are all great examples of types of people we come across on every end of that spectrum. I'll give you a good example. There's somebody who, and I won't say their name, but somebody who's close to me, who I love dearly. It's a family member, and in my view, I've looked at them as always being a person who I thought would absolutely need or want a financial advisor. And recently I've asked him and I've said, hey, what is it about your situation that you don't feel the need to hire or to get the help that you desired? And their simple example was, Nick, I grew up just not knowing what to do, and I've always felt that I didn't have enough to go to an advisor, right? And I thought that was interesting.
Sure.
I thought that's weird because we see people from all sorts of spectrums, like you talked about, the DIYer. This person comes to us and of course they want to manage some of their assets themselves, which is absolutely fine. We don't require us to get on board with that. But we'll fit into that picture by doing some of the planning for them, right? They might hire us to say, I want to retire in 10 years, as a good example. I'm 55, I want to be done at 65. I work at a corporation, I have this 401k, I have some tax issues, I have some insurance issues. Nick, can you tell us if we can do it in 10 years?
Wow.
And what does that look like planned out? And we're not going to be perfect, but I think there was a saying that said, I'd rather be 80 to 90% correct than 100% wrong.
Absolutely.
So a DIYer would come to us. We'd do a lot of planning for them on the back end, and they would manage their assets.
Different issues like taxation and those types of things.
Absolutely, yep.
What's the best tip that you can give for somebody who maybe has never met with a financial advisor, has a 401k, maybe an old 401k? I'm not going to ask you to write a plan right now, but what might be a good first step for them?
Yeah, a good first step would be start, right? Sure. I think a lot of times people just tend to push it off till tomorrow, right? We're all victims of that, myself included. I'm not somebody to say I'm on a higher pedestal than somebody else. I'm saying you have to start somewhere, whether that's open an IRA account, open a brokerage account or savings account. I would say start somewhere. And then as your situation you feel the need to get the help that you want, then you can go and outreach and get an advisor. And my advice would be, again, there's all types of advisors out there, right?
And really what you're doing goes beyond what a CPA might do in a tax planning situation, or looking at the situation as a whole, understanding the next 24, 36, 60 months, 10 years, as you said.
Sure, and I'd hesitate to say that it would go beyond what a CPA would do, because they're great at what they do, right? CPAs
Absolutely.
do. But what we've found all too often is that maybe you hand your taxes to the CPA, you pay them for doing the return, but you really got to dig in and dive deep to ask either that CPA for more tax planning strategies, or you got to go to your advisor and ask, hey, listen, here's my taxes. What are some tax saving strategies that we could implement so that way we can work with the CPA to bring that tax liability down? In a perfect scenario, the advisor and the CPA would work cohesively.
Side by side.
Absolutely. 100% works brilliantly every time.
In a partner relationship.
Absolutely.
Acting as the quarterback, making those calls
100%.
for reduction of tax liability and those types of things.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of issues going on right now. Issues may be a tough word.
Yeah,
but you've got market uncertainty. You've got inflation.
Yep.
We talked about taxes.
Right.
You've got everything in between, and I don't want to get political.
Sure.
But there's a lot of moving pieces right now.
Right.
How are you working with your clients to make sure that you're combating or having that inflation conversation and that uncertainty in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think the one thing the market hates the most is uncertainty. We all know that. I saw a quote today. I thought this was funny. It said, the stock market, right, is the only sale that people run away from, right? So, and we're seeing that today, right? A good example is...
Wait.
Okay.
Say that again. Say that again.
The stock market, this is a quote, I can't take credit for it, but the stock market is the only sale that people run away from.
I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that a lot.
I mean, it's true though. I mean, I've lived it, right? A great example is we had a conversation. We've had plenty of conversations over the weeks leading up to this, but most recently we got a call, and this guy just had it. He's done.
Sure.
Right. He's supposed to. His plan is we're supposed to be done in 5 to 6 years, I believe. Maybe it's 7 years. He has a great setup. His plan is solid. But at this point in time, when our call was taking place, he just said, I am absolutely done. I'm not going to buy any more cryptocurrency. I'm not going to buy any more stocks. I'm taking all my money, and essentially I'm going to put it underneath my mattress. Right? That was his next plan to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so he called and he said, Nick, what is our plan here? Like, what are we doing? Because I feel that this is the end of the world. Now, he didn't say those words, but I could tell that that's what he felt.
Sure. And I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
100%, right? What do you do? These markets are uncertain. And so we talked through it. We spent 30, 45 minutes on the phone, and we just went over what his plan was that we had developed earlier on the year before, and how we had touched up upon it 6 months prior. And so we went over that with him. We said, hey, here's where you're getting income when you retire. Here's how you're building your nest egg until those years are up. And so we just talked through it for him. And at the end of the call, he said, thank you. I'm good now. I'm fine. And so a lot of what we do is we really have to navigate these people through like the behavioral finance part of, it hurts more to lose money than it feels good to make money.
Essentially, in this type of situation, communication is key
100%.
With your advisor.
Yep.
What are a few things that an individual should be looking for when they're looking for a financial advisor?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of different types of advisors. There's people that claim that they're an advisor. There's people that claim this, that, and the other. So what are some things that people should look for? You could ask questions like, are you a fiduciary? Do you have my best interest? How do you get paid? As the advisor. Ask them, right? How are you compensated? Do you make a commission? Go ahead.
What's a fiduciary?
the fiduciaries, we legally have to put the client's best interest before our own. Right? Silly that we actually have to say that. But the world we live in, we're in that world where I think our grandparents and parents never even thought of putting a client's best interest first. That was just what they did.
Sure.
But now we're in a world where a fiduciary is legally responsible to put a client's best interest before their own. And so a fiduciary, how they get paid, what type of planning do you do? Are there any discounts or break points that we might receive? So you want to get a list of like their services. If you feel pressured into signing on in that first meeting, my opinion is
Trust your gut.
trust your gut, right?
Absolutely.
So
Nick, what's the best way someone can find you, get a hold of you, and hire you
Sure.
as their advisor?
yeah, I mean, the best way is to either go to our website, which will be displayed here. Give us a phone. Give us a phone call, 480-631-7133. Just reach out. Send us an email, which the info will be there.
Sure.
We work with, all different types of clients like we talked about before. Either somebody who's accumulating their assets and trying to get to the end game of retiring one day, and that could be 45 years old, 65, 75, it doesn't matter. So accumulator, we work with retirees, so people who are living off their nest egg, and they want to keep their effective tax rate as low as they possibly can. They want to generate as much income as they possibly can. They want to generate guaranteed income as much as they can. So a retiree has different complexities than somebody who is accumulating their nest egg, I guess is the best way to say it.
Different stages of life, different allocations as far as whether they're conservative or aggressive.
Absolutely. And I think the final one we do a lot of good work for are the business owners too. So business owners tend to have a lot of their wealth tied up into the business.
Sure.
And they're not really sure. Maybe they haven't started saving for themselves, or they think that the sale of the business is going to be their way to retire. Whatever that case might be. So those business owners need a lot of help just as much as everyone else.
Absolutely.
So
tax liability for the business owner, and then planning for the future, whether they're in a growth mode or
Absolutely.
trying to maximize their EBITDA all the way through.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Nick,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your
Absolutely.
time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good to be here.
I highly recommend Nick. He knows what he's talking about. He's local here in Gilbert, and I cannot say enough good things about Nick and his practice and how he handles working with his clients. So I appreciate you, Nick, and I appreciate you stopping by Casey's Corner.
I appreciate it, Casey. Thanks for having me.
If you'd like to be featured on Casey's Corner, please like, subscribe, share this video. Thanks very much. Have a great day.